Donuts. We all know what donuts are, right? They are sweet, deep-fried pieces of dough. Most common variation is this one, in the shape of a ring. Donuts can be glazed, sugared, sprinkled, with filling or without, and so on. My personal favorite version from my local donut shop is an old-fashioned chocolate donut. And let's not forget about donut holes, which are just glazed spheres. No matter what the donuts look like though, one thing is for sure, they are delicious. But where did donuts come from? Early version of the donuts came from Dutch settlers in the United States. The Dutch had a delicacy called Oliebol or olkoek, pardon the pronunciation, literally translated to oiled balls. These were spherical pieces of dough fried in fat or oil, so basically early donut holes. American writer Washington Irving mentions these in his book History of New York, from the beginning of the world to the end of Dutch dynasty, from 1809. Sometimes, the table was graced with immense apple pies, or saucers full of preserved peaches and pears, but it was always sure to boast of an enormous dish of balls of sweetened dough, fried in hog's fat and called doughnuts, or oliekoeks, a delicious kind of cake at present scarce known in the city, excepting in genuine Dutch families. That is one of the earliest mentions of something resembling a donut being referred to as donuts. But these were not yet the donuts we know and love today. Those came later. To learn about more modern donuts, we need to jump forward to the mid-1800s. In 1832, a man named Hanson Gregory was born in Rock Point, Maine. He was a sailor, and by the age of 25, he was a master mariner. He commanded all kinds of ships, but that's not what made him famous. What made him famous is the invention of the donut hole on June 22nd, 1847. Before then, donuts weren't even called donuts, and they came in all shapes and sizes. Sometimes there were long pieces of dough that were woven into braids, sometimes they were just diamond-shaped. The problem was that the outside of the dough was baked before the inside was, so frequently the middle of those early donuts was raw. As Gregory told Washington Post in March of 1916, "Well," I says to myself, "why wouldn't a space inside solve the difficulty? I thought at first I'd take one of the strips and roll it around. Then I got an inspiration, a great inspiration. I took the cover off the ship's tin pepper box, and I cut into the middle of the donut the first hole ever seen by mortal eyes." After that, Hanson Gregory spread the idea as far as he could. He taught the technique to a lot of people and even ordered the first donut cutter. It's hard to tell if that really is where the modern shape of the donut comes from. It's very likely that multiple people came up with the same idea around the same time, or that Gregory took the idea from someone else, or he just claimed the credit for someone else's work. One theory is that the shape of was actually inspired by bagels, which were becoming very popular. Bagels got their hole for easier display and storage, so it was only a matter of time before someone tried something like that with donuts. In any case, whether Gregory invented donuts or not, it was Adolf Levitt who perfected them. Adolf Levitt was a Russian Jew who escaped Tsarist Russia and came to New York. There, Levitt opened a bakery and eventually started selling donuts. Over time, however, he could not keep up with the demand, so in 1920, he created the first donut machine. From there, donuts just got more and more popular. A little later, a guy by the name Vernon Rudolph found himself in possession of a secret recipe. He rented a building in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, and started selling donuts from there. By 1950s, that small store turned into a huge donut selling company. That company, of course, was Krispy Kreme. Donuts continued to become more and more widespread and popular. Dunkin' Donuts soon joined Krispy Kreme as a huge company focusing specifically on donuts. Well, then where did the name come from? And what is it after all? Donuts or donuts? Both of those are technically correct, but donut is a more popular and traditional spelling, while donut is more of an American word. Where the word doughnut came from is pretty self-explanatory. Dough as in dough, and nut as in describing the shape. Nut could also be referring to a small rounded cake or cookie, which is an earlier definition of the word. Of course, some also say that the name is very literal. Back when donuts were still a Dutch delicacy, people would sometimes put berries or nuts in the center to avoid the problem of uneven baking. Hence, dough with nuts. Doughnuts. Right now, donuts are all around us. You probably live within 5 to 10 minutes from a donut shop yourself. They're everywhere in popular culture too.
Sir, I'm gonna have to ask you to exit the donut.
First, we should observe the ancient ritual of the traditional pre-fight donut. Yeah.
Milk my duds! It's Wreck-It Ralph!
Yeah? Who are you, the guy that makes the donuts?
A policeman's dream.
Yep. Lucy sets it up for us every night.
I thought you guys just ate donuts.
By the way, do you know where the stereotype of a police officer with a donut came from? It came from the fact that police officers frequently had to work at night, which meant their options for food were limited. If they got hungry during a patrol, they could either rely on a pre-made lunch or find a donut shop and eat there. Probably not very healthy, but better than nothing. The point is, donuts are great and they are very popular. And now that you know their rich history, maybe next time you eat one, you'll appreciate it even more than usual. This video is the first in a series of short documentary videos I'm planning to make in the near future. I'm planning to release a new video every Monday with random topics for each video. If you like this video, please like it and share it with your friends. I'm hoping to make this channel grow. If you want to suggest another topic or you have some feedback, or you just want to say hi, leave a comment. If you're interested in what the sources are for this video, they will all be listed down in the description. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next week. Goodbye!